And now Zemix going through the final corners to start probably his final run. He does have enough time. There's still 3 minutes left in this session for him to do a second run if he wishes. But up into turn one, battery being used as he now shimmies the car out of the second corner, going to try and pick up the toe out of the McLaren just up ahead. I believe it is Blake, as they go up through Radion de la Rouge, trying to keep it as tight and as close to the apex. A very late dart to the left for the McLaren, but that's going to give Zemix an absolutely lovely slingshot up into turn 4 at the end of the Cannonball Straight. He is 3.5 tenths up. What can this Ferrari do? He is currently on a 1:43.9. Is looking rather promising to put himself maybe into the top 5 here, as there goes a Sauber just nicely in wide. I believe that was Taz in that Sauber going off there. Zemix has just dropped the ball. The Ferrari goes round into the wall here today. Big upset for the Portuguese man. But that is safe to assume his qualifying is over, as that is not a mistake you want to be making when you were pole only a week ago. Big upset for the Portuguese, but hopefully he can come back stronger in the race, as now Hayden in the Mercedes working his way through the left-hander into the right-hander as you now go downhill in this middle sector. It's a fairly awkward part of the lap, to say the least, because it's a chicane, then a hairpin. It's really good for overtaking if someone messes up, as now down towards not 180, the Pouon segment, as it looks like Mercedes does it all fine. Battery being used on the exit, trying to get that ever so slight gain in top speed. The Mercedes really using everything they have left in that battery pack. But now going through the slower speed of Stavlo, it's going to be a big question mark as to whether or not he will be able to lift himself from last. He's kept it clean so far. He is the only driver yet to do a lap, but he has run out of deploy. He's going to be losing up to 8 miles an hour per straight. Now, as it's all about the final few corners, is he going to be able to lift himself off of the back row? Or is he going to have to set it in for P20 here today? It's the dart up to the line now. It's a 45.3. It is enough to go 19th quickest, as now LG is on a lap. He's entering Stavlo now. There's a V-Cub just up ahead of him. But what can that Aston Martin do? It's his debut. It's going to be a very promising one as things stand. 3 rookies all making their debut in the top 3 here today for quali. It's going to be a very interesting race, to say the least. But LG, he's done a decent middle part of the lap. Can he try and knock Track Racer off of the front row here? As the Aston Martin now through the right gets a bit snappy as he enters the left, took a fairly deep line. Up to the line he goes now. It's a 10th improvement, but not enough to compete with Track Racer. Chuggy Bond now working his way up to the final corners, or the notorious bus stop chicane. He has ran out of deploy, however. Mercedes, just like his teammate, losing valuable time in a straight line. Up to line, however, DRS in use. It's a very small gain, but it's enough to keep him in third for the time being. As, let's see, Mr. Otter is on a lap. The V-Cub, he came second last time out after fairly late move by Ninja, who was going to win off penalties, who's now taking the line in that Red Bull. He goes up to third fastest. What can Tom Otter do? Can he beat and pip his title rival to that third place spot? What will it be? It's only quick enough for P6 here, but it's a mega 3/10 improvement. And if you can't see, the gap between 4th and 6th, just under a 10th and a half here, with Track Racer being your man on pole. He even extended his margin. He's cleared by 1.24 tenths of a second. Not tenths, seconds. So yeah, 1.24 clear of LG. A mega qualifying run for that Williams driver. Now, 22 laps of Spa-Francorchamps. Who is going to take the win? 5 lights are up. They're gone. The drivers seem to have got away perfectly. As Track Racer covering off LG already, who seems to have had a poor start. Ninja down the inside of the Aston Martin. The Red Bull squeezing his way up into P2 as there's some form of havoc going on. Debris flying everywhere at the moment, as there you could see Otter going wheel to wheel with his rival as LG has now got back ahead of Ninja. That wider line out of turn 2 as they now work their way out of Radion de la Rouge up down the Kennel Straight as the top 3 all on mediums. They can be as competitive as each other in this start procedure. You can see Chuggy Bond down the inside of Ninja, your championship leader, rather struggling out there on those mediums as Chuggy Bond promotes himself back up into P3. As there goes Taz down the inside of Romain. The Saubus really seems like he has got it in the bag, but the Haas on a wider line, he's going to get better traction. As you can see, he nips to the inside. He's pushed Taz out wide. He's rejoined this race as he's been completely smashed into by Tom Otter, I believe, that as now he's rejoined. There is, I believe that's Rodrigo, who's got caught up as now safety car is out. Taz has got a 10-second penalty for a severe collision with Rodrigo, as Unknown has already retired from this race. He is moving though, so I believe that is a retirement on the track. But as things stand, already a hectic start in Spa with one car out of this race. We are now on lap 3. Safety car is in this lap. When will Track Racer go? It's all his to manage for the time being. But will there be too much chaos? Romain's gone off the road, been overtaken by Vroom, and now he's trying to gain the place back, but I believe he has to hand it over in the end because he was off the road. So now, Track Racer, he led the start procedure. He didn't have to think twice about defending on that race start. He's already darting his way up to the final corner. He's like, I'm going to leave the rest in past. As you can see, Ninja, he's having his own formation start as he's already 2 seconds off the top 3. And they haven't even got back underway as Track Racer now gets us back going in these green conditions. He locks both fronts up into turn 1. LG goes insanely deep. There's Chuggy Bond ready to pounce if need be as they now work their way down the hill. There is a yellow flag for James, who seems like he's got rather squabbly with Luke in the pits. Track Racer already flying away. He's almost a third. Well, he's almost a whole second clear. Not a third of a second. But that just drops with the slipstream being used. And for Tom Otter, could he try and find a way past Romain? He will not be able to do so for the time being, as Romain gets a bit deep on the exit, as Otter slots down the inside and gets the move done rather nicely in that V-carb. Very cheeky move, but it's one that will give him P6 back to where he started here today. Will he be able to hang on, though, is the main question as they work their way down through Pern. Ninja, he's rather in his own, let's say. He's nowhere near the front runners where realistically he should be. As Vroom just in the background, James has retired from session. His car in the middle of the road. Luke has hit the back of him as it seems like he's had a crash in the bus stop chicane. Luke gets a 10-second penalty, and this has worked absolutely beautifully for Jedi. He's just came in for his own stop. Rodrigo has a drive-through to serve for speeding under the pit lane. Safety car lights are off. It's coming back in this lap. Chuggy Bond leads the queue. Ninja second, then Track Racer third, LG fourth, and Taz fifth. Only third and fourth in that top 5 on fresh tyres. The others on old compounds. They're trying to make the one-stop work out. It's a risky game, but Chuggy Bond is going to try and stay as close to the safety car as possible. He cannot cross the line until the safety car is in the pit lane. Therefore, this is going to be where they really slow down. Safety car now in the pits. Will he hit the timing line first, or will safety car enter the pits first? It will be safety car. Chuggy Bond underway. Track Racer already down the inside of Ninja. Can the Williams promote himself? He will, as there's LG even trying to fight against that Red Bull. You can just see how much better those fresh tyres are on this restart. As there goes Romain to the outside for, De La Rouge bit, but inside for Radion, and doesn't manage to get by. Sorry for numerous stutters, trying to cover my words here. As Romain now on the inside down the Kemmel Straight. That is the move done on the leading Sauber, but they're going to continue their fight. Romain squeezes Taz off, and Taz has to settle in behind his own teammate. But will Lotte even try and go for a move? He has a look to the inside there. It was a small glance, but nothing too major. With Hayden, now Chuggy Bond fighting with Track Racer. A little squeeze there as they go into P1 now. Is the Mercedes going to hang on against mediums of the Williams? Round the outside he will go. He's going to make it difficult as LG goes rather wide there. Blake, 3-second penalty. But Chuggy Bond has to yield in eventually. That is P2 for the Mercedes, which is quite a shame to say the least. But will he be able to defend against LG, who's got a rather good exit out of Stavlo? They're going to overtake miles before Blanchimont. Dan to the inside of rather easy move to say the least. Not too much of a double fort to say about that, as there's Romain fighting with Vroom. But the Haas unable to get past the Sauber once again. He's going to go to the inside, however. He knows that the move has to be made now. He missed out season opener. He could have won season opener if he was there. But now it's all the recovery drives in his championship. As Romain up into P5 now for that Haas. Hayden P9, Ninja P10. They were racing out in Silverstone. That battle no longer consists, as Hayden 1 point Ninja Championship leader. He makes a beautiful move, snap of oversteer just to get it done. Z-Mix, absolute best last lap, 1.8 seconds improvement, fastest lap of racer, 45.8. As can he try and overtake the Sauber to promote himself into P10 here? It will be a rather big question. You can just see how close he gets as he goes through Radion de la Rouge. It does set him up quite nicely for this run down the Kennel Straight. However, DRS wide open. Will he be close enough to go for the move on the Sauber? He's going to go the long way round to the outside for turn 5, inside for turn 6, and that is job well done for the Ferrari. Nice and easy to say the least for Z-Mix. NASCAR boy now trying to find a move on Chuggy Bond. He hasn't really only just pitted. He's 9 laps old as he's gone down the inside of Room. There is contact. Chuggy Bond has to hang back for another move on that Sauber. Instead, NASCAR boy pulls to the outside. He's going to use DRS to try and compete with the Mercedes, and that is P8 now. Romain P4. Chuggy Bond has just called quits. He's retired in the pit lane. Romain trying to find a way past Ninja now. Penultimate lap. Can the Haas get a podium? It's a long time coming, to say the least. But Romain all over the back of the Red Bull. And don't forget Tom Otter, who came P2 last time out, right on the back of them. So it's a three-way fight here for the final podium position. But it should be Ninja who wins. He's the only one without a penalty, but you never know with this final lap. Otter's overtaken Romain. He's going to go to the inside through Blanchimont. He will get past through Blanchimont as we go up to the, bus stop. Ninja on the outside for the first part. He tries tucking in to switch back in the second part, but it's just going to be a little scrap through there as Otter will lead onto this final lap. Bit out of the 3 of them. Track Racer still miles away from the rest of this competition. But now, Ninja trying to find a way back by maybe into turn 5, up through Radion de la Rouge. The Red Bull now goes. You can see how tight of line he takes, and it slingshots him down the Kennel Straight. He is now back ahead of the V-Carb. as Otter, rather frustrated with another last lap move. That didn't wait him a place. But irrespective of that, nobody could stop this Williams track racer. He's entering the final corners now as Rodrigo has just retired. It's going to be Williams who takes success in Spa with track racer here today. He will take the checkered flag and fastest lap in doing so. LG will be second place on debut. That's 2 debutants in the top 2. A new era already, maybe, as Ninja and Otter still fighting into the bus stop chicane. They go now. Otter on the outside. Ninja trying to hang on out there. He's got a little wobble on the exit. Romain has gone for a move on them both, but Ninja's going to take P3 due to penalties. Otter 4th and Romain 5th. Dan 6th. NASCAR Boy 7th with Prestige Cactus rounding out that final corner to come home in 8th. Z-Mix brings home some points for the Ferrari in 9th. But I believe Taz does get promoted to 9th and Luke to 10th with Z-Mix's 13 seconds added onto his race time. Hayden will take P12. Jedi rounds off P13. Vroom 14th, and then Blake, last but not least, leaving that final corner now to come home P15 with 5 DNFs. So, for you who can't see that, it's rather small. I'm struggling myself. But Track Racer is your race winner, followed by Pro Joe, then Ninja. Then it's Dan Yeoman with Romain 5th, Otter 6th, Damie or NASCAR Boy in 7th, Nico 8th, Luke 9th, Cactus in 10th, with Z-Mix P11, Jedi 12th, Hayden in 13th, Blake 14th, and Vroom 15th, with Rodrigo, BB, who is Chuggy Bond, Ashton, James, and Luke's all out of this race. But that is what it looks like post-race after the penalties, with your driver of day being Dan Yeoman, an amazing drive, about 15th to 4th, then Track Racer, your pole sitter and fastest lap of the race here today. In terms of driver standings, Ninja will now have a 13-point lead over Dan Yeoman, with Max Verstappen, who is also Track Racer, in P3. Tom Otter in P4 now in the standings, with Projo in 5th, who is that LG guy. Luke's in 6th, Damie 7th, Z-Mix 8th, Romain 9th, HW 10th, Luke 11th, Nico 12th, Jedi 13th, Prestige Cactus 14th, Blake 15th, Vroom 16th, Rodrigo in 17th, BB in 18th, Ashton 19th, and Newcastle last. In terms of the constructors' standings, it is Williams of Dan Yeoman, then Red Bull of Ninja and Luke, followed by Racing Bulls, Aston Martin, Haas, McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes, Sauber, and Alpine. So it'll be rather interesting to see how this season rounds out. Goodbye.